Hi, everyone. I'm Elaine Beck, and this is the It's Not About Us show, which I'm very proud to do because I do this to honor God, to serve Him, and to also be a patriot in this country. And that is our focus. And you know that because you come here to hear the good news, the things that people are doing, and the things that we're overcoming in this country. We know there's a lot of evil. I just did a recent show um, about what happened at the Olympics, and I'm going to continue forward with that show, do a second show here with somebody that we're just going to call him a man on the street right now. And I wanted to get a young person's view on what's happening at the Olympics right now. And if you've been watching my shows and you've seen that show, you know that I was totally opposed and that I am boycotting everything that has to do with the Olympics this year because I feel that the abomination that was shown to the world is not something that we can respect or that we can condone. And so I want you to meet my guest today. His name is Justus.
Hi, I'm Justus Smith. Good to meet all of you.
I
It's a
love
pleasure to be here.
Oh, yes. And it's so wonderful having you here, Justice. You know, he's got the coolest name, Justice. Justice is something that we lack a lot of in this country,
Absolutely.
and I find it interesting that your mother gave you such an important name that speaks to the time. And that, if I may, you're only 26,
hmm
and you have done a lot, though, in your life. And we won't ask you to get into that, but I wanted them to understand that you are that young voice, but you're also a Christian and you're a conservative. And so now, would you share with them your viewpoint on what was done at the opening of the Olympics?
Absolutely. My thoughts on the opening ceremony for the Olympics first are that it's emblematic, a sign of the times. You're looking at all of this despotic, dysgenic, terrible behavior going on, all of this immorality. I believe there's an actual attempt, a genuine effort from foreign governments, including their intelligence communities, to ideologically subvert our government. And part of the way that they do this is a campaign of demoralization that's
Mm,
rooted in attacking the family unit. And one of the
yes.
simplest ways is through something that all kids and all families come together to watch: programming, television, the Olympics. It's all bread and circuses all over again.
Right, right. I think that is so true. And I think you hit the nail on the head because, this is the one thing, and I'm trying to think if I can think of anything else that is international around the world, that every country, most every country, has an actual, um, they've got something in this. They've got people out there fighting to represent their country,
Mm.
whether it is in an individual sport or a team sport. Um, there's many different ways that countries get praise and honor with it, whether they get that gold, that medal, or that silver. And that is something to be proud of. And every country, raises up children and encourages them to be that Olympiad,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
And so you're right when you say that, what a perfect place in their mind, in the mind of the devil, and the people that come from the more evil side, the darkness side of the world. What a bigger platform could they have than the Olympics? And when was the best time to do it? At the opening, because people don't necessarily go watch all the Olympics. They don't necessarily watch every day. It's a long, drawn out, fun, granted, interesting, absolutely honorable thing. It should be, right? But they took the opening where they know that the biggest percentage of the people want to see that grandeur that they do for the opening, that special moment of bringing all these thousands and thousands of people together to be proud of their country. You know, that opening for years now, every time there's an Olympics, that is what everybody huddles around the TV. Family, children, grandparents, no matter what country you're from, like I said, you have ownness in it, you know? And so what did they do? I spoke yesterday on this subject on a show, and I mentioned, you know, the horror of it, and said, would they allow us? And I would like you to answer this. Do you feel that in any way, shape, or form that the stations that it were on, which is where it would start with, or I should say with the Olympiad, what do they have, a board? The board, would they allow it? Would the people in charge, would the stations that are going to get, would the promoters, all of them, would they allow it had we said, you know what, this year we've decided to honor God because he is our creator, and that we want scripture read. We would like to have many of the different Christian religions do different songs and dances and stuff to inspire you all. We would like to have the Bible read in between each thing. We would like to have our torch be a replica of the cross. And we would like the clergyman to be able to come in and give some opening words of their own. Do you think that that would ever happen?
In an idyllic world, something like that could happen. Something in like Plato's Republic. But today, with the challenges we're facing, if we do nothing, even if we're good people, if we don't counteract the actual efforts that are present in today's environment, I don't think a world like that can exist. And that's why we're here.
Right.
You and I have something very much in common. We feel motivated to bring morality and faith and family back to this country. I look at this programming as one of the most terrible affronts. It is a grandiose mockery of a spectacle. They've taken something beautiful and defiled it. The great master Da Vinci is being offended, and on top of that, the greatest master, God, is being defaced. This is something that is criminal in every way you can imagine. This is going into the minds of the youth, conditioning them to have this kind of aversive idea about religion. We need to start conditioning the community to realize the benefits of this kind of practice, this kind of camaraderie and fellowship.
Right.
I think so much could come out of that if we were to actually implement real morality into the media, create a real epistasis that can influence the world to have better behavioral patterns. That's how we begin to fix this. I love this idea of having a Christian Olympics.
Wouldn't that be amazing? I mean, and let's go further.
Please.
As I mentioned yesterday, it has come to the point where, seriously, you can't watch hardly any movies, any TV, whether it's the news or it's the local weather or it's a sitcom, as they call them, or a anything else, even the advertisements and stuff. They have to have somebody who is questioning what sex they were born, and in some format. I mean, the LGBTQ community, plus community, has taken themselves, which I've heard that there's anywhere between 2 and 5% is all of the people in the United States. And I would believe that would be even smaller in other countries, because there's some countries they don't allow it at all. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think that would be a lesser percent. And they've given them everything. They've given them every show, every avenue, every bandwidth, every platform. I mean, what else can I name?
Right.
I mean, they have said, well, we should accept them. And it's up to us to make the wider community. What is it? There's I can't think of the other one. But they say that we should be more open. And I want to know why. I want to know why it never happened with God and the Bible. And yes, we are a Judeo-Christian country. And we welcome other people of other ethnicities. We are open to that. But the Bible speaks to the fact that you need to come into a new place. You need to assimilate to where you are. I mean, I have been to China. I have been to Hungary. I have been to Paris, France, where this was held just last year. Okay. And nobody there said, well, I'm going to start acting like you since you're here so to make you feel comfortable. I'm not going to just only speak your language. I'm not just going to only show you things that you like. I'm not going to open or talk only about things that are important to you in the United States. Nobody's going to do that, but we're expected to do that here with these newer, what they call communities. What do you think? What do you think?
This is such a great point you're bringing up. Frankly, the biggest issue that I see that comes out of the radicalization of the sexual revolution, particularly the LGBTQIA plus ABCD BLT.
Right.
You take this assemblage of acronyms and what it represents. I don't believe the left regime, I think it should be called a regime.
It is
promoting this group of people and fanaticizing them and radicalizing them because they care about those individual people at all. I think they actually might have more aversion to them than anyone. Ooh. I believe what these people are doing by putting them on this pedestal, by promoting and normalizing and conditioning, systematically desensitizing the youth with this content.
Right.
What they're doing is creating an idea in the minds of children that the family unit, the axiom of family, can be challenged. See, from a consequentialist standpoint, in ethics, there are two branches of thought. There's deontological, which is popularized by Immanuel Kant.
Right.
And then you have the consequentialist, which is more of a Judeo-Christian perspective. Essentially, that the means justifies the end. Whatever the outcome is what matters. So when you look at something like homosexuality, from a Christian standpoint, it can be argued that it's immoral because the outcome of it is non-effective. It won't bear children. And so any of the groups with an LGBTQ that are being promoted, the outcome consequentially is that they're not going to have a family in the traditional sense.
Right.
You can look at any of the statistics on this. Children that grow up in single family homes are more likely to criminality and sexuality at young ages.
True.
And we have to prevent this. This lowers the value of our country. It lowers our morals. And look at any civilization that lost its morality. It's not here anymore.
That's right. That's right. I'm astounded, as always, at how well versed you are on things. But I think that I'm trying to make a point here today. And you being on my show made it.
It's a pleasure.
The young people in this country, many of them that I know, the Christian young people, particularly in this country, and I'm sure there's millions of others that haven't had that opportunity yet, and we will pray that they do, that they are brilliant. They have hopes and dreams. They want to live in a free country where they can freely live out their morals, their standards, their beliefs, without having to be afraid that they're going to be misjudged for it, put down. It is so sad that we have a society that is so sure that they are right, that they can stamp us as wrong on everything, on everything. And yet we're not allowed to say one word against them. We're not allowed to compare our lifestyle to theirs without being judged, without being called a racist. You know, I just think that you've helped me make that point as a young man who has, gotten an education, who has a life's goal to make this back to a better, stronger Christian country, the Judeo-Christian country that it was and always should be. I'm really proud to know you. I'm proud to have you on my show. And I'm looking forward for my audience, for all of you, to see and hear what he has shared with you today and understand that I like to say, just because I am a senior in this country and that I've got what you might want to think of as old-fashioned ideas, that the young people of this country are hungry to go back to those ways. They are hungry to feel safe again. They're hungry to feel real freedom. They're hungry to be accepted for who and what they are, and that is strong men and women of God that want to honor him, not do the horrible things, the evil things that were done at the opening of the Olympics. So thank you for being on my show today, Justus.
Absolutely.
Thank you for speaking your heart. I think you've spoken to a lot of younger people. And I want to suggest on that note that all of you share with your young family, your nephews, nieces, cousins, children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. I have them all. I want you to share with them that they can go look at this show and hear a young man of 26 share that he not only just is trying to be in agreement with me, but his heart has the same feelings that mine does, because we love and honor the God, the Creator. And as you know, you can always go to elainebeck.com, see all my shows, share them with all your friends and family, get them to start watching and hearing the good that can come out of the evil. Sad that we have to hit these subjects, but so thankful to God that he gives us this opportunity. So you all know, I pray for you always. Pray for us. Have a blessed week.